What the fuck is that?
Is that a person?
Holy shit!
Step into the dark with 10 scariest horror movies inspired by video games. From pixelated nightmares to real-world terror, these twisted adaptations bring your favorite games to life. Number 10, Dead Rising.
We're talking about a zombie outbreak here.
Yes, but what does that mean?
When a government vaccine fails to contain a zombie outbreak in a quarantine zone, chaos erupts across East Mission, turning the city into a blood-soaked battleground. Chase Carter, a desperate reporter, fights to survive while uncovering a sinister conspiracy behind the outbreak's origins. Based on the Capcom video game series, this adaptation drops viewers into a relentless war zone of makeshift weapons, viral cover-ups, and flesh-hungry horrors lurking behind every corner. Dead Rising fuses fast-paced action with undead mayhem, capturing the game's brutal improvisation and survivalist spirit. As Chase races against time with infected civilians and corrupt officials closing in, the line between truth and terror disintegrates. Number 9, Doom.
If it breathes, kill it.
Soldier, search and destroy.
A distress call from a remote research facility on Mars triggers a mission that spirals into hellish chaos. A squad of elite Marines arrives to find the station overrun by genetically mutated creatures born from a terrifying experiment gone wrong. Based on the legendary first-person shooter video game from ID Software, Doom transforms interplanetary science fiction into a claustrophobic nightmare. The film traps viewers in dim corridors, where every corner conceals a snarling, bioengineered threat, and every decision could mean death. With a pulse-pounding first-person sequence and a relentless pace, it captures the adrenaline and dread of facing monsters in total isolation. As the team is picked off one by one and the line between human and monster begins to blur, survival becomes a matter of pure instinct in the shadow of something far worse than death. Number 8, Siren. When a father brings his children to the eerie island of Yamajima for a quiet escape, they are met with one terrifying rule: never go outside when the siren sounds. But the past refuses to stay buried. Based on the cult survival horror video game Siren by Japan Studio, the film plunges into a nightmarish descent of ancient curses, spectral villagers, and a reality warped by guilt and grief. The film is a slow-burning descent into madness, where ghostly figures drift through fog-drenched streets and the island itself seems to pulse with malevolence. As the siren's wail pierces the silence again and again, the family's reality unravels, revealing a darkness they were never meant to uncover. Number 7, The Evil Within.
Mirror I hate, Dennis, and I'm gonna break the mirror right now! Hey! John!
In a decaying mansion far removed from reality, a lonely, mentally handicapped boy named Dennis bonds with his reflection in an antique mirror, and that reflection has murderous designs. Directed by Andrew Getty, the film plunges into a surreal realm where the boundaries between self and other rupture, and the boy's darkest impulses are stoked by something not quite human. Based on the 2014 video game universe of The Evil Within, the movie distorts the source material's nightmarish symbolism into twisted practical effects and hallucinatory sequences. What makes it deeply unsettling is the raw, unfiltered gaze into isolation, sibling guilt, and the terror of becoming your own worst enemy. Number 6, Until Dawn. A year after her sister's mysterious disappearance, Clover leads her friends into the remote Glore Valley seeking answers. But instead they become trapped in an abandoned visitor center, stalked by a masked killer and forced to relive the same deadly night over and over. Each loop brings new horrors, and with only a handful of lives left, survival isn't about escaping, it's about enduring until sunrise. Based on the 2015 video game from Supermassive Games, Until Dawn reimagines the game's choice-driven terror as a time loop nightmare. Directed by David F. Sandberg, the film layers slasher supernatural and body horror threats in one grim loop. Number 5, Dead Space Downfall.
Our bodies! This is an infection designed to take over our entire race!
Yes, turned us against each other. They have taken over the bodies of the crew.
In the distant future, a massive mining ship known as the USG Ishimura brings an ancient alien artifact aboard, unleashing something horrific. As the crew begins to lose their minds, the dead start to rise, grotesquely mutated into relentless killing machines. Chief Security Officer Alyssa Vincent tries to hold the line as her team is butchered, but the infection spreads faster than bullets can stop. In space, no one can hear you pray. And aboard the Ishimura, the nightmare has just begun. Based on the acclaimed survival horror video game Dead Space by EA Redwood Shores, this animated prequel traces the initial collapse of sanity and order aboard the doomed vessel. Directed by Chuck Patton, the film is a brutal descent into cosmic horror, soaked in gore and paranoia where hope vanishes with every scream in the dark. Number 4, Werewolves Within.
Maybe you're a werewolf, you're a werewolf, you're a werewolf, you're a werewolf. Maybe we're all werewolves!
In the remote Vermont town of Beaverfield, a newly arrived forest ranger named Finn Wheeler is tasked with quelling local tensions over a proposed pipeline when a brutal blizzard strikes and the power goes out. Based on the 2016 social deduction video game of the same name, this chilling whodunit transforms a quiet mountain community into a frozen trap where suspicion is the deadliest weapon. Directed by Josh Rubin, the film blends comedy and horror as Finn and the town's mail carrier Cecily Moore uncover sabotage generators, slaughtered dogs, missing bodies, and a lodging filled with armed residents. Number 3, Silent Hill. A desperate mother named Rose da Silva takes her adopted daughter Sharon to the mist-shrouded ghost town of Silent Hill in a bid to cure the child's terrifying sleepwalking and obscure visions. Based on the video game of the same name by Konami, the film plunges into a nightmarish dimension where fog, ash, and monstrosities replace reality. Directed by Christophe Gans, Silent Hill strips the veneer of suburban normalcy to reveal a cult-ridden town haunted by guilt, punishment, and twisted souls. As Rose searches for Sharon, she is dragged into a world where time splits, monsters roam, and the borders of sanity collapse. With every echo of a siren and every flicker of light in the ash-choked streets, you realize that Silent Hill is not a place to escape. It's a place to be consumed. Number 2, Detention. In 1960s Taiwan under martial law, students Wei Chung-ting and Fang Rei Xin belong to a clandestine book club reading banned literature, until their teacher disappears and the military cracks down. One stormy night, they awaken trapped inside their hillside high school, now twisted into a nightmare filled with ghosts, shifting walls, and the guilt of secrets long buried. Based on the hit video game Detention by Red Candle Games, the film fuses historical horror with supernatural dread. Directed by John Shu, it plunges into a world where tyranny and terror merge, where the living haunt the dead and the dead refuse to let go of the living. As the truth of the school's past unravels, the very walls pulse with memory, and escape may mean reliving the nightmare. Number 1, Resident Evil.
3 hours left before it begins infecting and mutating the whole human race.
Deep beneath the ruined city of Raccoon City lies the Hive, a secret underground research facility run by the sinister Umbrella Corporation. When the T-virus is unleashed inside the facility's walls, staff turn into ravenous undead monsters and the building is sealed by its own rogue AI, the Red Queen. Waking with no memory, Alice finds herself alongside a commando team sent in to contain the outbreak. Based on the video game series of the same name from Capcom, the film reimagines the survival horror universe in live action. Directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, Resident Evil traps the viewer in claustrophobic corridors, sudden terrors, and corporate betrayal as Alice fights to survive, uncover her identity, and escape the nightmare. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Fatal Frame.
次の0時の死者は誰?
At an all-girls boarding school shrouded in superstition, eerie disappearances begin to mirror an ominous local legend. A cursed photograph spreads fear like a virus, blurring the line between memory and death. Based on the chilling video game by Tecmo, the film conjures atmosphere over gore. Shadows linger longer than they should, and silence becomes the loudest scream. Five Nights at Freddy.
Robbie, go!
A night security guard begins work at an abandoned pizzeria haunted by animatronic mascots with sinister intent. What seems like an easy job quickly spirals into a claustrophobic nightmare. Adapted from the viral video game by Scott Cawthon, this film traps its protagonist in a cycle of dread. Each tick of the clock is a countdown to survival. Max Payne.
The devil is building his army. Max Payne is looking for something.
In a frozen city drenched in noir, a tormented detective hunts for answers behind a string of brutal murders linked to a powerful drug. The deeper he digs, the more surreal and violent the world becomes. Inspired by the gritty video game by Remedy Entertainment, the film merges myth, vengeance, and hallucination. No one is innocent in Max Payne's fractured reality. Dante's Inferno, an animated epic. A fallen warrior descends into the 9 circles of hell to confront horrors shaped by sin, guilt, and eternal punishment. Based on the video game from Visceral Games and loosely adapted from the classic poem, the film presents hell as a nightmarish gauntlet of torments. Visually brutal and symbolically heavy, it's a journey through madness and redemption. No salvation comes without a price.